Okay people, so Asta has officially surpassed Roronoa Zoro. Relax, don't hurt me, I'm just joking, no! On a real people, after a 1 week break, Black Clover is back with the latest chapter and something major went down. But we do need to talk about a problematic aspect that has been for a good chunk of 2021 plaguing Black Clover, but also the insanity of what this chapter brought forth despite these issues, and that is that demon slasher alongside Asta's yet again new form in his devil union with Liebe. Because Black Clover, even when things are a little bit like uncertain, even when things are like, okay, what the hell is going to happen next, ultimately Tabata still manages to somehow pull it off and give us something at the very least epic or awesome. And I ain't gonna lie, the way he utilized the color black with Asta in this one, I was like, oh my god. There was a little back and forth when the original Devil Union design was revealed. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know how anybody could dislike the tweak that was made the way it looks now, because now it looks even more badass than it did before. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit of that Black Clover greatness. It kind of just dawned on me that this is probably one of the last times I'll be talking about Black Clover for 2021. Let's do it.
No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done.
So yes, people, finally back from the small break. I don't know why I felt like forever. And then when we got this chapter, I was like, whoa! Oh, that was a very freaking cool 45 seconds, because holy cow! Something with Black Clover that I've really noticed, and it's like, god damn, Tabata, what are we doing here? Is the freaking pacing. Like, it's one thing to have a small page count, right? Anybody can have a small page count. I think even Eiichiro Oda could manage, although it would really throw things out of whack, to have 15 pages a chapter, but it's how you utilize those 15 pages. The way Tabata has been utilizing these pages is like, I think he's just having too much fun in terms of drawing. Like, he's reminding me a lot of Tite Kubo in Bleach, especially towards the end, where Kubo was like, I don't care, I'm going to draw epic stuff, it is what it is. Because that's what I felt like with this chapter. Like, especially everything that had Asta in it, it was like, oh, Tabata snapping here, oh, Tabata wanted to draw this really epically. Like, it was just really awesome art. But I feel like the thing that it's lacking a lot of the times is, I don't want to say necessarily substance, but definitely more dialogue, definitely more exposition. It's like he used to be a little more exposition heavy, and now he's more with a show, not tell type of approach. And it's just a little awkward considering, you know, we've been with Black Clover for quite some time now, and for it to go to this point where it's just straight up 15 pages of like, hey, really cool drawings, I get what's happening, but I was like, yo, this is fast, man. I wanna enjoy these chapters a little bit more. I wanna have a little more time with my characters, the Black Bulls. So just something that I wanted to note in there, because I was like, again, when I read it, holy cow, how long did it take me to read that? Literally like what, 55 seconds? Like, but amongst all of that, I did manage to nab a bunch of stuff to talk about. Let's try to get through it, shall we? Because the chapter picks up from where the last one left off, with the Black Bull base after it just struck Lucifero. Lucifero holding on very tightly to those black spheres. I want to say two of them was the ones with Yami and William, and then the other two is the big question mark, right? Because a lot of the things that we're wondering still is like, okay, so what is going to be next? It's clear that this arc isn't going to end right here. I'm almost 100% certain that Lucifero is going to make his way into this world. Like, that's something that there's no question on, if it's a matter of when, and this is just another stage on him getting there. And these two black spheres, the ones that are basically question marks, are what is going to determine what it is. Like, is one of them the final Zograti sibling, or what's going on there? Is he going to come to this world in the body, in the form of the Zograti sibling's body, which would kind of make sense because he was like in a wheelchair, so if he came through and took his body, maybe he'll be able to walk and all sorts of stuff like that. Again, you gotta continue to ask, well, so who's the final Zograti sibling? We're gonna get there in a little bit. We're gonna get there, because I got a new theory, a crazy theory that kind of stems from an old theory that felt like it was dispelled, but it might not be, but we'll get to it. And people, including Nacht and Yami, are noticing that essentially Lucifero is continuing to manifest. Again, as he's here, the longer he's staying here, the closer he's getting to realizing his goal, which, I'm gonna lie, it was like, what the hell, that art was a little awkward of Yami, he looks like he's suffocating there, which it kind of gets me a little bit confused sometimes, because we just saw like a chapter or two ago that he was cut free, and then we see again he looks like he's restrained, so a little bit awkward in terms of what's happening here, in terms of how Tabata is keeping the continuity together regarding that stuff. And then, like I said earlier, Tabata was like, yo, I'm about to draw something cool as shit, because we see Asta alone on that mountaintop, similar to one of the last chapters where we saw him alone, and he's looking all zen and shit, like just giving again a very, very reminiscent setup of what Yami did all those arcs ago when he slashed that devil that was tricking everybody, you know, the whole elf invasion arc, when he slashed him from far away, straight up again giving reminiscent vibes, which I feel like for the most part is almost a new look at it, but essentially still kind of recap-ish in a way, because we already knew all this. We already knew Lucifero is crossing over to this world. We already knew Asta was on a mountaintop. So again, a very interesting and creative way to kind of show us stuff that we already knew. But again, maybe because of the break, they felt like, Tabata, you gotta remind them. I think it's okay, fam. I read like 100,000 things, and while I'll forget a thing or two here or there throughout all of these series, especially for people that just read Black Clover, you'd have to be really bad with the memory to forget some of the big things that just happened in Black Clover if all you read is Black Clover. I'm just saying. And then we got a flashback to how Asta left the Megazord ship, where he's basically telling all the other Black Bull members like, hey, I think me and Liebe can save the captains without hurting anybody. And they're like, I bet, yo, just we have faith in you, let's do it. Essentially, yeah, he was like, yo, I don't need to be in unison with the Power Rangers, fam. I'm my own ranger. I'm the true Black Bull Ranger. High key, I am so ready for this Power Ranger-esque stuff to come to an end. Yeah. Fornev, stop hating. You just don't know greatness. Oh my god. I would watch Super Sentai if I want this type of stuff. Just saying. No. And you can see Asta definitely still has somewhat of a ways to go. I don't want to say a long ways to go, because obviously we've seen a ton of progression. He went from not even being able to, you know, rock with Liebe to now he's using double union, and obviously we're getting upgrades and all that jazz. But when he's asking Liebe, like, yo, we should be able to cut something like that, right? Like, he's still uncertain of the potential and the capabilities of his power as it stands right now. So we're getting upgrades, we're getting stronger, we're seeing progression in certain avenues, but there's still ways to go for Asta. He's still not all the way there where, like, you know, he could one-shot Lucifero. It's a little bit different having this big, giant target that Lucifero is right now to be able to, you know, slash at it or whatever, because, again, boom, right there, big target, let's go, opposed to, like, if Lucifero was to come in a regular humanoid sized body, I think that's when Asta would definitely struggle, especially if it was something along the lines of that Lucifero isn't affected by anti-magic. Then Asta's going to have a long day. Not that that's the only thing in his arsenal, because we've obviously seen with Devil Union now it's a little bit different. He essentially is wielding magic to a certain degree and whatnot, him and Liebe's anti-magic, but nevertheless it would be a lot more difficult for him. And also I guess it puts Liebe, even though Liebe is another I don't want to say imbecile, but definitely a little not all there, because like Liebe is essentially the brains of the operation in certain regards of like their power, because Liebe is the one that's like, yeah, nah, we could definitely get that shit done. Yeah, we could do it. Like, you down bad when Liebe is the brains, considering Liebe is just as dim-witted as Asta can be at times. And I'm not trying to disrespect the characters, I'm saying it in a funny comedy way. Relax, people, relax. Why am I feeling attacked? Also, I found an interesting dynamic, because then we see where Liebe and Asta are thinking to themselves who they want to rescue, how Asta's like, boom, I want to do this to rescue Yami, and Liebe is like, boom, I want to do this to avenge Lucita. And it's interesting because Asta doesn't realize, or does he know? I don't think he knows that that's actually his mother, Lucita. So essentially he wants to, without even knowing it, he's trying to avenge his mother. And it would be dope, and I doubt it would happen, but it would be very interesting if somehow, some way, there was some sort of connection between Liebe and Yami, whether it be, you know, connected to his dark magic or something like that. That would be kind of dope if it was like they were both trying to rescue and avenge both of those people, because as it stands right now, it's really Liebe and Asta have their separate goals, but they kind of intertwine in a way because of Asta's connection to Lucita. And the 30-minute interval is now up, which, hey, we can do fusion again after 30 minutes. Where's Goten and Trunks? Or Goku and Vegeta, you know, whatever you want. Let's do the dance, fam, or Potara, or whatever. And we see the epicness, we see the greatness. Oh my god. Devil Union 4th Sword Demon Slasher. Asta and Liebe's new drippy, I mean drippy form. Oh my god, like I said earlier, there was some discrepancies, some back and forth between the fandom when we very first seen the first version of the Devil Union form of Asta and Liebe. Some people were like, yay, nay, this upgraded version. I ain't gonna lie, I rock with it very heavy, where you have like the cloak is there and it looks like a damn scarf around him, and just the way Tabata is utilizing the color black. I don't know, it just feels like with these last few chapters, or not even last few, quite a few chapters in general, Tabata has taken a more Taite Kubo approach of just having fun with making the most bomb-ass art and doing show not tell type of storytelling. Because like even when we're getting all this, like, yeah, you get little explanations and shit like that, but for the most part it's like straight up, look at this really awesome drawing that I did, guys, and it fits into the story, but look how awesome it is. Because I can't stress enough how much I'm really digging the upgrades to Asta and Liebe's Devil Union form. Like that shit just looks so dope. The drip, fam. Asta became a drip god right now. That's his new power. Boom, Devil Union drip god mode.
Dama.
Devil Union Duripu God Modo. And I've seen some people having some complaints against this part that I'm about to talk about right now, but I don't know, man. It's been too integral to the story to start complaining about this now and then comparing it, because basically some people were saying, well, wow, when Asta is like, yo, we wasn't chosen by Mana, so we're going to make our own choices. Some people were like, how dare he just sounds so entitled, considering the fact that he, yes, doesn't have Mana, but with his anti-magic and all his capabilities, he's fighting against one of the strongest devils in the world right now. So like, how is he feeling that way? But at the end of the day, just because I got it my own way, maybe I wasn't granted, you know, the algorithm gods didn't give it to me the way I deserved it, shouldn't mean that because I got it my own way instead, that I gotta be, you know, hush-mouthed about it. Because Asta had to go the hard way. He had to go the other route, the alternate route. He couldn't just do it the way like everybody else, where here's my grimoire, here's my magic, call it a day.
I mean, you can't even use magic. When you're taking the Magic Knights exam, there's no way you'll pass.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
So yes, he's going to feel a certain way in essence, and I wish it would go more down this route. I highly doubt it will, but it would be really dope if essentially Asta's revenge, similar to how Liebe's revenge is essentially for Lucita, this is almost vengeance against the mana system and magic and even destiny to a certain degree as a whole. Of, I didn't get it, I wasn't blessed with it, I had to struggle through the mud with this anti-magic shit. We here now, we the shit, you. That's something that I can dig. Like, that's something that I'm like, okay. And yeah, I get it that there's peasants that they have very little to no magic, but Asta, we've seen his journey from start to finish. Nothing was handed to him. He did it all himself. Even when he had to come and, you know, link up with Liebe, it wasn't given to him. He had to fight him. And he uses Demon Slasher, Infinite Slash, Equinox, cutting Lucifero in half, which, again, I mean, he's a giant freaking target, and if Asta got the strength, all it takes is wham! It just showcases just how strong, I guess you could say, that Asta's attacks have become. And I gotta keep on stressing, it's a more devil looking and more Asta version of it, but it still was very, very reminiscent of Yami, and I love it because Asta has little by little morphed into a mini Yami. When we started the time skip and we see him coming back all brolic, and even though he's a pipsqueak, but he's a brolic pipsqueak, is like, I'm trying to be like the big guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be like the epic one, you know? The dude that takes a dump in the middle of crisis. Yeah, that dude. And here's something that started getting a little bit interesting. Maybe to me, maybe I'm looking too deep. Maybe I'm seeing things that really aren't there. I don't know. But everything is falling apart, right? You see that Yami is falling, William is falling, and as Yami is falling, he catches a glimpse of looking at Nacht. And it could totally be whatever. It could just be like, oh snap, you know, it's Nacht, you know what I'm saying? There could be something more to it. It could be we've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, and all that jazz. I just kind of felt like when he saw him, Yami didn't like have a big smile, or I don't know, it was just awkward. And again, it could be that, yo, you look like my dead friend, what the heck is going on here, something along the lines of that. Could go back to the whole theory that there's an ulterior motive for this guy all along. What if all along Nacht wanted to use this opportunity to resurrect his dead brother Morgan? Or dun, 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 Imagine if Morgan is the finals of Gratis all along, some major plot twist somehow, some way. Or somebody is changing forms. There's so many possibilities here, but I don't know. That exchange when Yami was falling and he looked at Nacht for the split second, it didn't seem comforting to say the least. I mean, again, Yami also has been tied up and all this other massive messed up stuff that's been happening, but also notice how Tabata puts no emphasis on like William. Like you just see a little tiny drawing of William over there like he's falling, but Tabata don't even give a crap about that dude. None of us do. Like Tabata's like, y'all win, screw him. And we get a little bit of an explanation as to how the hell with that slashing did Yami and William not get cut and all of that jazz. And essentially Demon Slasher cuts everything aside from what it wants to protect. Basically, it won't damage you even if it hits you, I'd imagine, if you are something that it wants to protect. And it goes all into the principle of this whole thing of, hey, we weren't chosen by mana, so we're making our choices, and our choices is that we want to protect people. So it, you could argue, gets a little corny-ish, but it also fits into the thematic structure of what's been set up from the very beginning. Asta wasn't blessed with mana, so he did it his way, and his way is his choices, and that goes into the power of the sword. And then going back into what we were just talking about a second ago, both Yami and Nacht looked at Asta and said, you did it this time. What if Yami was saying, you really did it this time, you stepped in it this time, buddy? And Nacht is like, yeah, you did it this time, fam. You got me to my goals. I'm just saying. Yo, we back in 2020 with the Nacht is evil theories. Now, even if he's doing something that is not on the up and up, I don't think that Nacht would be evil. I think it would be something that is kind of wrong. He shouldn't be doing this. Again, maybe he's trying to revive his brother out of guilt or something, get him from the gates of hell or something along the lines of that. Maybe Lucifero promised him. Maybe there's something more to it. Or again, maybe I'm just totally off and maybe I'm still not letting go of a theory from a year ago. ForneverWorld style! And again, let's not forget Finals of Gratis sibling. Who is that? Where are they? Who's inside of the two remaining spheres that Lucifero was grasping ever so dearly onto? Very curious what you guys thought about this chapter though, about Asta's new Demon Slasher form with the scarf, with the drip. How did you feel about that? How do you feel about seemingly, again, round 2 or 3, I don't even know where we're at with it anymore, against Lucifero, him falling, your thoughts on just in general everything that went down, any validity to maybe Nacht is not 1000% on the up and up, and Lucifero taking an L leads into his dastardly deeds of wanting to do something that not necessarily evil, but he probably shouldn't be doing. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the future of the Black Clover manga with chapter 317 and beyond. Asta's new form. Fam, Tabata, put more into it. Like, yo, I had to dig really deep to get each and every one of these bits so that I could break some stuff down for you guys, because I was like, this was a 45-second read, Tabata, why? He don't give a shit no more. He's like, I'm gonna do things my way. Exposition and all that stuff. Show, not tell. You figure it out. But that's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And yeah, maybe Nacht is evil. No, I know Fornever's alone on this one. Either way, yo, that new form, Asta. Tabata, a little more exposition, please. I want about 3 minutes with Black Clover, you know. Have an awesome one. And I've been having too much fun with this review. People are probably going to think he hates it. He's a Black Clover hater. Stop. Have an awesome one.
You are me. What I know, so just go to find me.